All right, so today we're diving into the world of building and maintaining muscle after 60.
Okay.
We're taking a deep dive into this Healthy Temple article called Building and Maintaining Muscle After 60, a guide for men and women.
Sounds good.
And you shared this article with us, so
Yeah.
we're going to explore why this is so important and, more importantly, how you can actually do it.
Yeah, we hear about muscle loss as we age,
Right.
but it's easy to dismiss it as something that happens to other people.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But the reality is muscle loss, or sarcopenia as it's called medically, starts creeping up on us around age 30
Really?
and really accelerates after 60.
Okay, so it starts early but gets serious later.
Right.
But why should we care about this? I mean, besides maybe not fitting into those old jeans as
It
easily.
goes way beyond just looks.
Okay.
We're talking about your strength to do everyday activities,
Uh-huh.
your balance to prevent falls,
Mm.
even your metabolism and energy levels.
Oh, wow.
Maintaining muscle isn't just about vanity. It's about staying functionally independent and enjoying a higher quality of life as you age.
So it's about being able to keep up with the grandkids' travel and do all the things you love without feeling limited.
Exactly. And the impact is pretty significant.
Okay.
Think about this. A study in Age and Aging found that almost half of people over 80 deal with noticeable muscle loss,
Wow.
meaning they might struggle with simple things like getting up from a chair or carrying groceries.
That's a real wake-up call.
Yeah.
So what can we do about it?
Oh.
The article mentions resistance training.
Yeah.
Is that just a fancy way of saying lift weights?
It is, but it doesn't necessarily mean heading to the gym and pumping iron like a bodybuilder.
Okay.
Resistance training can involve lifting weights, but it can also be as simple as using your own body weight for exercises.
Okay.
The key is to challenge your muscles enough to stimulate growth.
So even things like push-ups, squats, or lunges count.
Absolutely.
That's good news for those who might be intimidated by the thought of heavy weights.
Yeah, the point is to create resistance that your muscles have to work against.
Right, yeah.
And the results could be pretty amazing.
Okay.
Research in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research shows that older adults who engage in resistance training just 2 to 3 times a week can boost their strength by 25 to 100% in just 12 weeks.
Wow.
That's like going from struggling to lift a grocery bag to carrying 2 with ease.
That's incredible. I mean, who wouldn't want to double their strength? But I'm curious, are there any specific types of exercises that are especially beneficial for older adults?
You're asking all the right questions.
Okay.
When it comes to resistance training, compound movements are the real MVPs.
Okay, compound movements, what are those?
These are exercises that work multiple muscle groups at once so you get more bang for your buck, so to speak.
Give me some examples.
Think squats, deadlifts, bench presses, and rows.
Okay.
These types of exercises engage large muscle groups and mimic movements we use in everyday life,
Right.
like bending down to pick something up or pushing a heavy door open.
So it's about building strength that translates into real-life functionality. I like that.
Mm.
But let's be realistic, a lot of people over 60 might have some aches, pains, or old injuries. Is it still safe for them to do these exercises?
That's where working with a qualified trainer or physical therapist becomes really important, especially if you're new to exercise or have any pre-existing conditions.
Okay.
They can assess your individual needs, modify exercises to suit your abilities, and guide you on proper form to avoid injury. Remember, safety comes first.
That makes sense. You wouldn't want to jump into something too strenuous and end up sidelined with an injury. So we've talked about challenging those muscles with resistance training, but what about the building blocks? I imagine nutrition plays a big role here too.
You got it. You can't build a house without bricks, and you can't build muscle without protein.
Right.
In fact, protein becomes even more critical after 60 because our bodies become less efficient at using it to build and repair muscle tissue.
So we need more protein as we age. How much are we talking about?
Based on research published in Nutrients, the recommendation for older adults is 1.2 to 2.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight daily.
Okay.
That's considerably higher than the general guidelines for younger adults, which is around 0.8 grams per kilogram.
Okay, so a decent amount more.
Yeah.
But what does that look like in real life? Are we talking about mountains of chicken breasts at every meal?
Not quite.
Okay.
It's about making smart choices throughout the day.
Yeah.
Lean meats like chicken and fish are excellent sources,
Right.
but you don't have to stick to just meat.
Okay.
Eggs, Greek yogurt, and cottage cheese are packed with protein and can be easily incorporated into meals or snacks.
And what about plant-based options for those who don't eat meat or dairy?
Great point.
Yeah.
There are plenty of fantastic plant-based protein sources out there too.
Okay.
Think lentils, quinoa, tofu beans, nuts and seeds. You can even find protein-rich pasta and bread made from ingredients like chickpeas or lentils these days.
Interesting.
It's about finding what works best for your dietary preferences and getting creative in the kitchen.
I love the idea of making it enjoyable and not feeling restricted.
Right.
So we've got the resistance training, the protein. It sounds like we're well on our way to building some serious muscle after 60.
We've laid the foundation,
Okay.
but there's more to the story.
Okay.
It's not just about bulking up, it's about creating a holistic approach to fitness that includes cardio, flexibility, and recovery. It's about building a strong, resilient body that can support you in all aspects of your life.
Now that sounds like a plan. Let's dive into those other aspects in our next segment. We're back and ready to explore those other key elements of fitness after 60 cardio, flexibility, and recovery. It's interesting because sometimes we focus so much on building strength that we forget about these other crucial aspects.
That's so true. It's like building a house with strong walls, but neglecting the roof and foundation. You need all the elements working together for a truly solid structure.
Yeah.
Cardio, flexibility, and recovery are essential for supporting your strength training efforts and ensuring you're building a balanced, resilient body.
Okay, so let's break it down. Let's start with cardio. What are the benefits and what types of activities are we talking about here?
When it comes to cardio, the American Heart Association recommends at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity aerobic activity or 75 minutes of vigorous intensity aerobic activity per week for adults. That might sound like a lot, but it's actually quite manageable if you break it down.
So even a brisk 30-minute walk 5 times a week would do the trick.
Exactly. It doesn't have to be complicated. And the benefits are significant. Cardio helps strengthen your heart and lungs, improves blood flow, boosts energy levels, and even helps regulate blood sugar and blood pressure. It's a win-win for your overall health and well-being.
And what about types of cardio activities? What would you recommend for someone over 60 who might be new to exercise or hasn't been active in a while?
Start with activities you enjoy and that fit your current fitness level. Walking is a great option for most people, as are swimming, cycling, or even dancing. The key is to find something you find enjoyable and that you can stick with consistently.
Consistency is key. So we're not talking about running marathons or pushing ourselves to the limit. It's about finding that sweet spot where we're challenged but not overwhelmed.
Exactly. It's about building gradually and celebrating your progress along the way.
Okay, so cardio is checked off the list.
Mm.
Now let's move on to flexibility. I'll admit I'm not always the best at stretching, but I know it's important. Why is flexibility so crucial as we age?
Flexibility tends to decline as we age, but maintaining it can make a world of difference in our daily lives. Good flexibility helps improve range of motion, reduces stiffness, and can help prevent injuries. Think about it. If your muscles are tight and restricted, you're more likely to strain something when you're bending over to pick up a grandchild or reaching for something on a high shelf.
That's a great point. I've definitely felt those aches and pains when I haven't been stretching regularly.
Mhm.
So what are some good ways to improve flexibility?
There are many ways to work on flexibility. Yoga, Pilates, and Tai Chi are excellent practices that combine stretching with strengthening and balance exercises. These types of activities are particularly beneficial for older adults because they are gentle on the joints and can be adapted to different fitness levels.
I've heard great things about those practices, but sometimes they seem a bit intimidating. Are there any simpler stretches that people can do at home?
Absolutely. Simple stretches like shoulder rolls, hamstring stretches, and even gentle back stretches can make a big difference. You can find plenty of resources online or in books that demonstrate basic stretches. The key is to listen to your body, never force anything, and breathe deeply as you stretch.
Gentle and consistent. I like it. So we've covered cardio and flexibility. Now let's talk about the unsung hero of fitness recovery. You mentioned it earlier, but I'd love to dive a little deeper into why it's so important, especially for older adults.
Think of recovery as the time your body uses to rebuild and repair after a workout. It's when those muscles get stronger and those adaptations happen. As we age, our bodies tend to need a bit more time to recover, so it's crucial not to overdo it and to prioritize rest and sleep.
So it's not just about pushing ourselves harder and harder. It's about giving our bodies the time and space they need to bounce back.
Exactly. A study published in Sports Medicine found that older adults who get 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night have better muscle recovery and see greater strength gains than those who sleep less.
Wow. So quality sleep is truly a superpower when it comes to muscle building and recovery. Are there other aspects of recovery we should consider?
Stretching is a great way to aid recovery by improving blood flow to muscles and reducing soreness. And don't underestimate the power of simple rest days. Allowing your body to fully recover between workouts is essential. especially after a particularly strenuous session.
So listen to your body and don't be afraid to take a day off when needed. We've covered a lot of ground so far. We've talked about resistance training, protein intake, cardio flexibility, and recovery. Seems like we've got all the pieces of the puzzle. But I know a lot of people are curious about supplements, so let's explore that topic next. Okay, so supplements.
Yeah?
Seems like everyone's got an opinion on what supplements to take,
Right.
especially when it comes to fitness and aging.
Uh-huh.
It can be a bit overwhelming to sort through it all.
It can, and it's important to remember that supplements are just that, supplements.
Okay.
They're meant to complement a healthy diet and exercise program,
Right.
not replace them.
So they're like the icing on the cake, not the cake itself.
Exactly. You want to make sure you're getting the bulk of your nutrients from whole, unprocessed foods.
Okay.
But certain supplements can be helpful for filling in gaps or addressing specific needs.
All right, so let's talk about some of the supplements that people might consider. The article mentions whey protein.
Okay.
What's the deal with that?
Whey protein is a popular choice among athletes and fitness enthusiasts of all ages because it's a convenient and easily digestible source of protein. It's basically a milk protein that's broken down into smaller components called amino acids,
Okay.
which are the building blocks of muscle tissue.
So if you're having trouble meeting your protein needs through diet alone, whey protein could be a helpful addition.
It could be, especially if you're following a regular exercise program. It's often used in smoothies or shakes after workouts to help with muscle recovery and growth.
All right, whey protein, got it. The article also mentions creatine.
Yes.
I've heard that one thrown around a lot.
Yeah.
What exactly is creatine, and is it something older adults should consider?
Creatine is a naturally occurring compound found in our muscles that helps provide energy for short bursts of intense activity, like lifting weights. Studies have shown that creatine supplementation can increase muscle mass and strength, particularly in older adults.
So it's like giving your muscles an extra boost of power.
That's a good way to put it. It can help you push a little harder during those workouts and see better results.
Yeah.
However, it's always a good idea to talk to your doctor before starting any new supplement, especially if you have any underlying health conditions.
That's sound advice. Now, what about vitamin D and calcium?
Okay.
I know those are important for bone health, but do they play a role in muscle building and maintenance as well?
Absolutely. Strong bones are essential for supporting your muscles and allowing you to move freely and safely. Vitamin D helps your body absorb calcium, and both nutrients are crucial for preventing osteoporosis, a condition that weakens bones and increases the risk of fractures.
And osteoporosis is something that becomes a greater concern as we age,
So
right?
it does, which is why it's so important to ensure you're getting enough vitamin D and calcium through your diet
Right.
or through supplements if needed. Many foods are fortified with vitamin D and calcium, and you can also get vitamin D from sunlight exposure.
So spend some time outdoors, enjoy those sunny days, and make sure you're getting enough of these bone-building nutrients. The article also mentions omega-3 fatty acids.
Oh.
I know those are good for heart health.
Yeah.
But what about their role in muscle building and maintenance after 60?
Omega-3 fatty acids are a type of healthy fat that's been shown to have anti-inflammatory properties and promote muscle recovery. Research has even suggested that omega-3 supplementation can improve muscle mass and function in older adults,
Okay.
potentially increasing muscle mass by as much as 8% over a 6-month period.
Wow, that's a pretty significant improvement.
It is.
So omega-3s are good for our hearts, our brains, and our muscles.
Yes,
Seems like a no-brainer to include them in our diet.
they're definitely a valuable nutrient to consider.
Sure.
You can find omega-3s in fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, and tuna, as well as in plant-based sources like flax seeds, chia seeds, and walnuts.
So many great options to choose from. We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive, from resistance training and protein intake to cardio flexibility, recovery, and even supplements.
Right.
There's a lot to take in.
Yeah. But I hope it's been empowering for you listening out there
Me too.
to realize how much control you have over your health and well-being even as you age.
I agree. What I find most exciting is that it's never too late to start making positive changes. Age is just a number. Your strength has no limits.
So for our listener who's feeling inspired and ready to take action, what's one piece of advice you would give them?
Start small and be consistent. You don't have to overhaul your entire life overnight. Focus on making gradual, sustainable changes to your diet and exercise routine. Maybe that's adding a 20-minute walk to your day,
Okay.
incorporating more protein-rich foods into your meals, or trying a new fitness class.
Great advice. Don't try to do everything at once. Start with one or two small changes and build from there.
Exactly. And remember to celebrate those small victories along the way. Every step you take towards a healthier lifestyle is a win.
This has been an incredible deep dive full of practical tips and inspiring insights. We've explored the science, the strategies, and even the success stories of people who've embraced fitness after 60 and reaped the rewards. It's been a pleasure sharing this journey with you. Remember, your strength has no limits. Embrace the journey and enjoy the rewards of a healthier, stronger you.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll catch you next time for another exploration into the world of knowledge and discovery.